Okay, so it's been a real pisser of a week. My schedule went out the window, my usual filming schedule and all that. So you know what? We're just gonna go straight off the cuff, sit down and have a chat. Hi, how are you? It's good to see you. I'm Lola. This is FauxPods with Lola, podcast format where I just kind of sit down and y'all listen and everyone pretends that it's being broadcasted. It's good times. I know it's kind of a trend nowadays for people to be like, ha ha ha, Mercury Retrograde's ruining my life. In my many years of studying astrology and adhering to the teachings that it can lend you, I have learned to really lean into retrograde. I've learned to feel my feelings if something comes up that's really freaking me out, a common theme that keeps popping up. For example, I kept being really passive-aggressive all week. Being passive-aggressive is probably my number one pet peeve outside of people chewing with their mouth open or me being able to hear people eat. It was odd for me that I was being passive-aggressive to everyone, really, to myself. As I was talking to myself, I was being passive-aggressive to my children, which I hate that shit. I had a big heap of it, a big heaping dose of it when I was growing up, and so I learned how to speak in passive aggression. Probably have a PhD in passive aggressive. I've just learned how to not employ that. It's weird when it comes back up and all of a sudden I'm being just kind of flippant and shitty for no reason. So I realized about Wednesday, because side note, my video this week I am uploading today. I'm supposed to upload it Monday. One of the things about retrograde that is true is that it interferes with communication and technology, because Mercury is the planet that rules those things. So that's why miscommunications happen, your car breaks down, your email doesn't get sent in a timely manner. I've been dealing with it. I've been dealing with that. My editing program, as I was exporting it, it just completely corrupted the file. So then I spent the next 2 days re-editing. Meanwhile, my oldest daughter took a week off. She got an independent study week so that she could go to work, so she could get more hours at work because she's enjoying work more than she's enjoying school at this moment. Made an allowance for that, but she never got her homework assignments. We filed for, it's like this ISC contract you have to enter into. So that happened on Tuesday. She still hasn't received any of her work. So that's frustrating. She's bopping around, and then my middle kiddo decided that she really needs to flex her independence as a 9-year-old. So she's been staying up. I have the tag team of the two of them either interrupting me or being all up in my business when I'm trying to get stuff done. So all of this is happening around, me being really passive aggressive. And so I'm like, dude, so when things, go a little sideways, you're not supposed to just crumble into your old pattern. Because retrograde, it's like a slingshot, it'll pull you back. Retrograde is like the pulling back motion, and then you'll get released and shoot forward again, hopefully with the lessons you learned during retrograde. That's how I've learned how to, let it work for me. My whole week was just a mess. It wasn't what I usually do. It wasn't, I usually have like a production schedule that I follow. That went out the window. All of the things that usually clip right along just kind of went, took a big old shit. As all this is happening, I'm being more and more passive aggressive. And instead of saying, hey, can you guys keep it down? I would just be like, yeah, so I have a whole bunch of stuff to get done, but it's cool. I guess you guys can just make a lot of noise. Like, who the fuck is that chick? I don't like her. She couldn't go back from whence she came. That was happening a lot. I just kept being like, what is this? In conjunction with Mercury retrograde, Chiron, the wounded healer is what he's called. Whenever Chiron is in the orbit and affects the other aspects, previous wounds will come back again so that you can have another cycle of healing. Passive aggressive is pretty deep down there. I stopped being passive aggressive, or actively stopped being passive aggressive like 15 years ago. That's pretty deep. I guess there's still some stuff in there. So I'll just stop and be like, okay, what is this teaching me? What is it telling me? And so, like I said, mindfulness and being the best possible person you can be is tough. For you to have that added layer of difficulty, it's a challenge. That's been ongoing on top of all the other technological things, and and it always kind of messes with finances, or with whatever it is that can possibly grab you and kind of hold you for a second and be like, there's something to be learned here. It'll do that. In that way, we can really benefit from it. There's a tremendous potential to learn a lot, to heal. I try to align with that rather than just being angry the whole time. That in mind, as I think we're done with Mercury Retrograde. I want to say the 18th of October. So all of the lessons that you could potentially learn from astrology, just based on the notion that if a tree falls in a forest in Russia, that will cause and affect the migration pattern of butterflies in Chile. If you think of it that way, then for sure everything in our orbit, everything in our world, everything that has an effect on us is going to have an effect on us, if you know what I mean. So instead of it being like this pain in the ass that you have to endure and being like, oh no, Mercury retrograde, just try to stay vigilant, try to breathe through it, and try to see what it's teaching you, I would say. Within that, what is the passive aggressive coming up for? And I was thinking about all the ways that I am alone, and this is getting to a point, so just follow my line of logic. All of the ways that I'm alone in a day it's a lot. I'm surrounded by my kids, either one or all of my kids, pretty much at all times, except for a short amount of time at the end of each week. Actually being physically alone, not that much. Being alone with my thoughts, being alone to cook, clean, all the major stuff. The girls, do their part, but all the major decisions, all of the, everything is me. It's all me. And so on one hand, that's tremendous. I've talked about being self-partnered before and how I really enjoy it, and that's 100% the truth. On one hand, you have this like, yay, I'm an independent woman, I don't take no shit from no one. But on the other side, and this is the side that I think is like the calling card of being alone, and is what most people, society, view being alone as, which is feeling lonely at times when you shouldn't, or having to make decisions on your own, and making the wrong decision because you didn't have someone else's input or someone else's expertise. For me, being alone is not letting my kids see an example of a relationship that works well. So I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about how if I had a really, positive, really healthy relationship, I wouldn't be doing it all on my own. I would have someone reliable to watch the girls while I did what I needed to do, and all that stuff. So maybe I think that's where the passive aggressive came from. I grew up in a single family home, and although my dad visited on the weekends and stuff, he wasn't a part of the equation as much. My mom was, but she had jobs, so she was always working. So her time was stretched really thin. Her time, her energy, everything was on kind of like a rapid cycle. My time as a mom, my being a mom, I have tried to stay away from that frantic pace, that hurried, we have this much time and this much to do, like go, 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 go. I try not to get like that, because I remember feeling, and this isn't, shade on anyone, it just is how the situation, how I reacted to it or how it affected me. And I remember feeling like there's no way that I can keep up. My needs and wants aren't just a built-in priority, then there's no way that I can keep up with what is a priority. I think that's where passive aggressive really takes a hold, is when we feel like our standpoint and what we have to say isn't going to be received as well as we would like it to be, or in a healthy way where they go, oh, okay, I didn't know you felt that way. Let's see what we can do to accommodate your needs. I feel like it's a situation where you're not gonna receive that. And that's when the passive aggressive comes out, because it's like a way of testing the waters. It's a way of not being accountable for what you really want to say. It's a way of like tippy-toeing around things that for some reason our society is way more comfortable with. The movie The Invention of Lying with Ricky Gervais and Jennifer Garner, I think, really is an interesting take on that notion. Outside of our societal need to white lie and fudge the truth, keep things kind of copacetic and don't rock the boat, don't say anything you're not supposed to, because we're like that, we end up really complicating things for ourselves. So in a roundabout way, I think that's what my lesson has been. I'm in an environment of my own design. So I don't need to rely on old ways of doing things. I don't need to rely on other people's way of doing things. I just need to find something that works for myself. My kids are going to do what they're going to do. It doesn't mean that I have to get wrapped up in all the drama. I can just set a boundary and say, hey guys, I'm going to be busy, not buy into it. I think maybe that's what the lesson is. It's a pain in my ass, but it's an ongoing process. It's an interesting thing. Parenthood isn't really something that is supposed to be a one-person job, I don't think. If you have one kid and there's one parent, then that's fair enough. But anything past one human that you're supposed to be accountable for, it's almost like just out of the capacity that a human can handle it. Sometimes I think it's not really meant to be a single person job. I'm doing it just fine. I know plenty of badass, strong single parents, male and female, that hold it down just fine. So I'm not shading people that are single parents in any way. My decision to be a single parent was it was a good thing. And then how that kind of ties back into what I was talking about being alone. It's the same kind of thing. Like if you're a dog person, you just like a pack, you know, you get that everyone has their place in the pack, that there's a leader that will provide for you, that, you know, I mean, that's kind of like the vibe of a dog, you know, or a dog person, I guess I could say. And then there's cat people who are just better on their own. Like they just feel more confident and more comfortable being on their own 2 feet, relying on themselves, doing things their own way. And I feel like I'm probably way more of a cat person. I love dogs. I love being around people. I love people. But at the same time, I don't need people. I'm not one of those people that needs people. I have been like this for a long time. I think it's a proclivity that you're born with, or it can be also just something that you learn how to do, you know, kind of a self-preservation thing. That kind of coincides. Like if you're a pack person and you end up starting a family and you know, are in a relationship that you stay in, and then you have kids, and then they see that that's something that you do, you know, or they know how to do that, then you just kind of make more pack people, and then those pack people make more pack people, you know. And I think that's similar for a single parent family, or like for a single person or someone who doesn't mind being alone. Before I had my younger 2 children, it was just me and Logan. She doesn't really have any designs to get married or to, you know, at this juncture in her life. And I support that. I would support that completely. If she wanted to get married, I would support that. Completely up to them what they choose to do. It's very heartwarming to see that just because my example is what it is, it doesn't mean that they can't be fulfilled and happy people too. So maybe that's part of the retrograde lesson too. I don't know. I muse on what makes someone a dog person and then what makes someone a cat person all the time. I don't think there's any hard, fast rules besides, you know, that you're more of a pack person. You want someone to keep you in line, and you know, you don't mind someone keeping you in line because then you can keep someone else in line. The chain of command and stuff like that. And then, you know, on the other hand, for cat people, we're good just doing our own thing. We'll listen to someone, we'll defer to them, we will, in our way, respect what they have to say, but at the same time, we know we're probably just going to do our own thing. And I don't think either is wrong. I think it takes both types of people to make the world go around. Random thoughts about being a cat person and a dog person. Yeah. What else? I'm really excited about Halloween, and I get excited every year. My youngest is going to be a pumpkin, and my middle kiddo is going to be an avocado. My oldest is going to be BoJack Horseman. That kind of lets you know their vibes. It's the one night a year that everyone gets to be their alter ego, or at least dress up and just kind of be incognito. So I feel like everybody's true colors kind of come out at Halloween. I'm not sure what I'm going to be. Thinking about maybe being a bee, because I love bees. I don't know. So I wanted to apologize for my video being so late this week. I apologize for anyone that looks forward to them. If there's people out there that really count on my Monday upload, I'm trying to stick to that. It might be more closer to a Wednesday. You never know. We'll see. I'm going to keep trying to do my best and push through the technical difficulties. That's actually why I wasn't going to do editing in the first place. A layer of technical complication that I kind of wanted to do without. So the videos were just like fun, nothing but fun. But I really like editing, so I'm glad that I taught myself how to edit. At some point this month, I'm going to talk about my paranormal experiences that I've had with aliens and with other things. Positive and negative, because I mostly have had positive ones, to be honest. So, because I intend for such things. But yeah, so you have that to look forward to. Tell me, do you subscribe to astrological notions? And if so, how do you handle retrograde? How's this retrograde going for you? Let me know. Leave it here, little brief, little shorty. And I hope everyone is doing really well. Hope that your retrograde lessons are serving you well and that you figure them out if you haven't yet. I'll be back soon enough with yet another one, and I'll speak to you soon. Have a wonderful week. Until then, speak to you later.